So let me start by saying that this was the worst chapter to leave on a 1 week hiatus. All right. It just was. Out of all the chapters that we've seen so far, this was probably one of the worst. Okay, we'll not say the worst, one of the worst chapters to leave on hiatus on. Just how Oda ended the chapter. There's not too many diverging spots in the chapter. It's just one story that's going on. Thankfully, like it'll make flow of the conversation a little easier. But we kind of see a lot of different things happen a little bit, but it boils down to the same storyline. So right now we're focusing on Harold's backstory, the main backstory that we actually jumped into. The reason Loki is kind of stuck in the underworld, and why he probably killed Harold. So we start by seeing that the world is starting to accept the giant pirates a lot more, especially due to the Marines hiring some of the giants that are there and them helping out. And we kind of see Harold's efforts finally pay out as the giants are being more socially accepted. The giants, we see that there's trade booming with the giants. We also see that like people are actually rooting for the giants. They're rooting for the giants and want more communication with them, just so that to integrate them better in the society. And it is wonderful to see this happening, especially given all Harold has gone through. One other thing that I want to say about Harold is I was completely wrong about this, and I'm so glad I was. I love the fact that it's going this way. I owe a huge apology to Harold. Now, in my previous videos, I did state that I thought Harold was so tired of the giants that he was willing to sacrifice a generation of giants for the betterment of the next generation, which has been completely proven wrong over here for me, and I'm so glad it has. The only person he wanted to sacrifice ever was himself, and it is beautiful to see that. Like, it is beautiful to see that for his cause, he's only willing to sacrifice one person, and that was himself. We see that we'll see that towards the end of the chapter. We see that the school has opened, Saul's school has opened, and the giant kids are allowed to play and learn over there, which Harold commends Saul for. But Saul kind of says that, hey, I understand you're happy about this, but shouldn't you be sad about someone passing away? And we kind of see that Ida has passed away. Of all the deaths that happened, predictable ones, Ida's death kind of felt unnecessary, and therefore a little bit more sad for me. It was really painful to see her tombstone. And we kind of see a backstory between Ida and Harold as well, where Harold basically, they talk about their sons, Loki and Haroldine, and the fact that the giants are being more accepted around the world, and the fact that the culture has changed a little bit so that giant kids can play and learn, and the world can accept them a little bit more. And Harold rightfully puts all of this growth that Elbaf has shown on Ida. And obviously, like, without Harold ever meeting Ida, none of this would be possible. None of this is at all possible without Harold ever meeting Ida. We also kind of see that Harold really wanted her to be his wife, and Ida's really glad that he does want this. And they're still talking like Ida might not pass away, although I'm pretty sure both of them know the situation. And we kind of see that Ida over here, basically, we see Harold curse the giants' culture, but then Ida's like, don't throw away that. We see the perspective of Ida in terms of the giants. She does not hate the giants' culture. She likes the warrior pride part of the giants' culture. He just thinks that the violent things and the oppression that the giants showed, that was a problem, which is a fair thing. Um, this is a very interesting aspect of culture. I believe that culture over time should change, but you should never really let go of what your kind believes. You should adapt your thinking, but you should be proud of the culture that has been passed down because it is yours in the end. Without you, it's not going to survive. And I love the fact that Ida actually understands this. And in a lot of ways, this kind of reminds me of like Queen Otohime and Fisher Tiger. The fact that they all had some ideas that were really beautiful to see. With Queen Otohime, it was more on lines of don't pass down hate, don't hold on to hate. It's never a good thing to hold on to hate. With Fisher Tiger, it was like even if you hate, don't pass it down meaninglessly to other people. Like you can hate someone, but let others form their opinions about the world as they go through it. With Ida, it's more on the lines of more internalized, I would say. It's more on the lines of like your culture is part of who you are. Don't change that side of you. Have your warrior's pride, but change what your warrior's pride means. And that's such a beautiful thing that showed me how how emotionally intelligent Ida is, that gotta respect her even more for this. However, by the end of this flashback, we see that Ida passes away. Harold walks away, head like obviously completely dejected by this, and we see Loki and Hyruddin find out. Hyruddin gets to see his mom, I guess, like um, after she passes away, but Loki's still locked up because of the incident. Now, I don't know why Loki is still locked up because of the incident. It's probably because he killed all of them, the guys who poisoned Ida, and there were no witnesses, and he probably didn't say anything, or people didn't believe him, and that's why he's locked up. But I cannot think of any other reason. Otherwise, Loki should have been out and should have been able to say bye to Ida as well. That's kind of hard for me to process. Um, we then find out that Shanks apparently um, ran away or like disappeared after a mission from the Celestial Dragons. So the next in line to get the deep sea contract was Harold. And over here, we kind of find that the Gorse has promised them that as soon as he completes the deep sea contract, Elbaf would be welcomed into the fold of the world government, and therefore one of his true wishes, would come true, which he's obviously really happy about. It is at this point he finds out that the empty throne is not really empty, that there is someone who sits on the empty throne and is introduced to Emu. At which point Emu forms a deep sea contract with him and guarantees that Elbaf would be taken into fold. Harold, really happy with the situation, agrees to create an abyss pentagram, which is a request by Emu, in Elbaf. But we soon find out, as we all knew, like all the readers knew it, but unfortunately Harold didn't, because like that's kind of who he is right now. He doesn't know everything about the world right now. But Harold finds out that Emu was never going to let Elbaf into the world government. They were just a tool. The giants were just a tool for him. As Emu tells Harold to mobilize the giants as a war force alongside the navy, which Harold is completely stunned by. And we see in this situation how right Zebek was, and he must have also realized how right Zebek was. Like, we see how right Zebek was, but Harold just now realized how right Zebek was regarding the world and how it's working. Um, it's so sad to see that Zebek, knowing everything so far, has told Harold all this, but Harold chose to believe in the good in the world and therefore messed up over here. So we see that Harold really does not want this to happen, and as soon as Emu says it, he's like, "No, that's not going to happen." But we see that those who formed a deep sea contract with Emu cannot resist his control. He has literally got mind control powers over this person. And this is where we kind of see a testament to Harold's strength. The fact that he can actually fight off this mind control that Emu has on him when Emu forces him to rally the giants. And he is able to tell his subordinates, hey, chain me up and find my sons and Elder Jarul so that this does not happen, like prevent this. It's a big testament to his power because Emu is shown that he is capable of a lot of things, like especially this level of mind control. Especially, I'm guessing the deep sea contract is very hard to resist, especially even if Harold cannot resist it. So the fact that he's able to show some resilience against it shows me how powerful Harold is. But this brings me to a really sad thing that's going to happen. That right now Hyruddin's not on that land, and Harold is told about this. Elder Jarl and Loki are the only ones on the island, and Harold orders to free Loki to bring him over here. Now, we know that Loki is going to be the one to kill Harold, and it pains me to see this because to Loki, both of the people who cared about him died because of him. That's literal, and it's so sad to see that happen. Like, Ida died because people believed Loki's mom to be the real queen, and they didn't want Ida to be the queen, and therefore poisoned her. And now Harold is going to die because of whatever the situation is at Loki's hand. The only two people that gave a shit about Loki are going to be lost because of himself. And I kind of see how Loki feels at the moment. It's such a tragic story, Loki's backstory, that these two people, the only two people who gave true shit about him, dies because of him. And it's hard to process. I kind of honestly really feel bad about Loki, and I hope he gets some semblance of the revenge that he has been hopefully planning for the past whatever an amount of years in the current arc. When I hope he gets to smash in the faces of each and every one of them, each and every one of the celestial dragons that are there, or at least one of them. I'm hoping that it's the vine guy. I really don't like the wine guy. I absolutely hate the wine guy. But basically, yeah, I really, really hope that something bad happens to those guys by Loki's hand, because he's due for revenge, man. He is absolutely due for revenge. This was a bad cliffhanger because we never saw what happened after. So we're gonna have to wait another week for that. Like, there's no chapter out this week, so we're gonna have to wait one more week. So yeah, I'm kind of I was kind of mad at Oda for leaving cliffhanger right now, but the guy has been through a lot of stuff and definitely has health issues. Trying to produce One Piece on a weekly basis. Honestly, he should take his break. But I am a little mad that he chose this point to leave as a cliffhanger. Anyway, that's about it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, consider leaving a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And tell me if you are mad about Oda leaving a cliffhanger in this video down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.